Hey there folks, it's Celem here, back Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, episode 5. Quick update, quite a bit has happened since we last played. I've passed a few days, I was mainly reading, working around the house. I was trying to wait until I healed up before we went out again. As you notice, top right, both my arms, both my legs are still completely trashed. Now, I had noticed this happening gradually over the last few episodes and naively assumed it was gonna heal up when I eventually rested, which it hasn't done. I've been out onto the forums, asked some questions. Apparently all these limbs are broken. They will never heal. I need to splint them. Now, I can't make a splint. It requires Survival 2 and First Aid 1. Now, as you can see, I've raised construction to 3, tailoring's up to 1, survival's at 1 and 31%. I can get that to 2 quite easily, but first aid is a problem. We have 55% of a level, which I've gained by... I'm not carrying any now. I've gained by using bandages, bandages and first aid kits on my torso and head. I can't use bandages and first aid kits on my arms and legs. They have no effect. They're not even an option. So we're going to have to do something about this, clearly. Ideally, there are 2 ways we could do this. There is, what do we have? Here it is. We have a bookstore, and just to the north of it here we have a library. A raid in that direction could return a first aid book. The other option, of course, is house bathrooms may drop bandages and first aid kits we can use to work on our torso and head until we hit First Aid 1 and can craft some splints. At that point, it's something like a week of wearing the splints before the limbs will heal back up. The third option, pretty undesirable, somewhere in the hospital is a machine which will supposedly regenerate limbs for you, but you have to hack it. So I guess as an extreme outside, we might find a computing book in these and go for that option if all else fails. But these limbs are not going to get any better, is the point. So something has to be done. Now, yeah, as you can see, I built a few walls out here. These 2 are impassable. These just slow them down. There's a roof over these 2 squares. It was mainly because I was sitting here in the doorway crafting with the light from the open door, since I've actually, as you can see, boarded up all the windows and other doors in the house. I did this when I was training up my fabrication skill. Most of the furniture's gone, all the internal doors are gone. Things have changed a bit down here. We now have a makeshift bed. The other big change was I was looking through our medical pile, which was copious, and I noticed that we had 6 or 7 bottles each of the drowsy and non-drowsy cough syrups. So I transferred those across into gallon jugs and freed up a whole load of plastic water bottles, as you see here. Now, because I've been living for a day or 2, okay, that's okay, encumbrance, I've gone through some water supplies and some food supplies, and we're hungry and thirsty, but we don't really have any fresh food to deal with that. We've got some non-perishable food downstairs, but I'd like to save that for now. If we're going out, we'll likely find something. Now, we could of course try to loot the hospital for the medical supplies we need to skill up to First Aid 1, but I've pretty well hit that over the last few episodes, and I rather fancy my chances, to be honest, of getting to this bookstore. I'm not sure about getting up here. We've not been this deep. I believe in the current version all the gun stores are barricaded up, much like that electronics store we visited. We're about to pass it here. Oh, I should probably take off my noise cancelling headgear. I just noticed up in my panel at the top right that I was deaf. I've been wearing those to sleep at some point. And I don't like being entirely deaf. Removing one of the senses you do have is not so smart. Oh, acidic zombie, where is he? Northwest, that's fine. Boomer southeast. Regular zombie east, I'll disregard him. Bloated is also east. Skeleton zombie. They're northwest. That guy's east. Okay, there's quite a lot east and southeast here. I turn off safe mode now that I know they're coming. What's this north of me? It's a gun store. Yeah, it's all locked up. You can see some books through the window there. Be nice, but it's not going to happen. I believe we'd need explosives to get in there. Maybe... I've heard you can ram a vehicle through the wall. Now, we seem to be able to fight okay, even though our limbs are destroyed. That wasn't very smart. I really should have got somewhere safe before I... Oh. Well, yeah, there you go. The health was just too low, and I engaged that lot in the open. I really wasn't thinking about what I was doing. So that is the end of our adventure, very premature. I probably should have gone back to the hospital, which was largely clear, but I had no first aid skill. Bugger. Oh well, I shall be back with another journey soon enough. Alright, see you folks.